All right, it's Saturday. That's right, it's Saturday. To hear the sports you want to hear. That's right, it's Saturday. That's right, it's Saturday. To hear the sports you want to hear. I'm your host, Rashawn McGee, great night show host, and we got a plethora of sports news to go right to you from from night to morning, from morning afternoon. I'm your host, Rashawn McGee. Here's what we got in line for you. We got the Washington Commanders winning against Arizona. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what I didn't like. I get the information from Canada. We're also going to talk about the Washington Wizards. Nothing's happening there. They're going to lose. All right, we're going to watch. We're going to talk about the ups and downs of the Baltimore Orioles versus the Tampa Bay Rays, and what they need to do today. We're also going to talk about the other sports related news around the league, NFL wise, and from you. Yes, you, the fans, you guys. You get to talk about anything you want, and your host is going to listen and will respond back to you. If you want to call in, the number is 512-543-4662. I say again for you and everybody else, 512-543-444. I quote, "It is not AG's fault." He punched it out of his out of his arm. He was going down, but he said that what was AG's fault is he didn't cradle the ball. So when you don't cradle the ball and the defender try to push it out, it doesn't go out. So when you try to push it out with one arm, bad things tend to happen, and that's what he was explaining. And I tend to agree with Airbnb's assertion of that thing. So that's my assess of it. I think ultimately the offense did well in protection. I think they lost protection in the first, second quarter. Third and fourth quarter, they started to understand what Arizona was doing and blocked. So majority of what Arizona was doing was just not secondary blitz. It was the linebacker blitz. The linebacker blitz, which really got us really, really badly, tend to, it says a whole lot. So our offense needs to understand that slide of protection, and that comes from the quarterback too. The quarterback did not slide protection to the left side or the right side when they were, going through the A and B gap. So he was just passing the ball. So what does this mean ultimately? It means they have to go back to the drawing board. They have to go back to slide protection. They have to go to max protection. They have to go through the whole type of protection so that when Arizona blitz, when Denver blitz, we know how to pick it up. Now we're going against Denver. Denver is a whole other monster. Now they got Russell Wilson, who is a masterful in running the foot behind the scrimmage and throwing down the deep ball. Now, here is what they said are the keys to the game. Now, I want to ask the panel if you agree with this, but I'm going to answer. So the Washington Commanders will go on their first road trip of the season to take on Denver at the Mile High Stadium. Here are 3 keys to the game presented by Kai. Eliminate the offensive mistakes. Washington's offense did enough to against the Arizona Cardinals, but every player on that side of the ball. Hey, is that Maryland?
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to say. Do you agree with the first step to eliminate offensive mistakes? And let's ask Steve, and then we go to Lewis, to Noor, and then we'll probably ask 517-601-6234 if that's okay. But let's go with Steve. Steve, what do you think about step 1? Do you think that's accurate or no?
I think it's accurate. Very accurate.
So if it's accurate, what else would they put as number 2? What?
Go ahead, Marilyn.
But that was Manassas. But go ahead, Steve.
Oh, you know what? I mean, like I said, I think even just crazy mistakes. I mean, the turnovers we made. I mean, like I said, the interceptions. I mean, it was right after he took the hit in the head. The personal foul.
Yeah.
That's when you start making mistakes because, like I said, the concussion, and that's when we made the turnover. I mean, that was a good punch on the ball to Robinson. Anybody would have fumbled that ball if people would punch out because Lawrence Taylor was good for that. And then I think the turnover from Sarah, the fumble wasn't his fault because the pass rush came real quick and he didn't see it. And then the interception was right after he took the hit, the personal foul. So, I mean, I think he had to shake off the cobwebs and stuff, and then he played good the second half. But our defense helped us a lot,
Yes, that's true. The defense did come and save us in the second quarter, which was perfect because we actually struggled in the first and second quarter. Lou, come on, man. Well, I know you're not a Commanders fan, but you got to see the inconsistencies of the offense. What do you think?
Yes, I agree with that. I think you do have to eliminate that. It's gonna, I think it's gonna help the team a lot more. So I have to agree with Steve on that.
Right.
Help eliminate the mistakes of the offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. Step one. Step one
I'll
was
work on that.
actually no. I agree with both of you. The step one, eliminate offensive mistakes, is key because if you can't score, and the opponent outscores you, it's a huge problem. 517. What do
Right.
you think?
It is accurate.
It is accurate. You heard it from 571, so it's unanimous that it is accurate. Let's go ahead to rule number 2. All right, all right. I know you so excited. I know. I got you. All right. So rule number 2 is keep Russell Wilson contained in the pocket. It's only one game, but Russell Wilson's looked much better compared to what we saw in 2022, completing 79% of his passes in the loss against Las Vegas Raiders. Wilson rushed for 1 yard, 1 carry in week 1, but Ron Rivera said Wednesday that extending the play was still part of Wilson's skill set. Wilson has always burned Washington several times in the past with his legs. The Commanders have to make sure Wilson stays in the pocket. And on Sunday, much of what is responsible falls on the defensive line, which dominates the Cardinals and helps swing the momentum back to Washington's favor. Aside for the 2 forced fumbles in the second half, Washington shuts down any attempts that Josh Dobbs to carry the ball across the ball himself on the quarterback's keepers. Dobb finished the day with 3 rushes for -3 yards. All right, panel. Number 2, keep Russell Wilson contained in the pocket. What do you think of that? Let's go with Steve, and then we'll go Louis Tenor. We'll go same order as before. Steve, make some sense of this, bro. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing? The coach is here. 5403. Hey, we got 51 here. We got 571-606-6234. She seems excited, so let's help her welcome her in. Okay. All right. So, Steve, what do you think about rule number 2? Now, Marilyn, we just went over the 3 steps for beating Denver. The first one was to eliminate offensive mistakes. Well, hold on, Steve. Let me get the coach to talk about step 1. So, what do you think about step 1? Marilyn.
Yeah, we do definitely need to get, eliminate these mistakes on the offense. Yeah.
That is 100% correct. All right, Steve, number 2, keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. You think that's accurate? What else do you want to add to that?
Okay, I added that. Like in the past, we played Russell Wilson real good. I mean, like I said, we got his number in both Seattle and we can have his number in Denver. He don't have the weapons that he had in Seattle that he got in Denver because most of his receivers are hurt. And they talk about Denver defense. This is just the first game of their defense playing good. They never had an offense like we do now. I mean, we got capable weapons to match their defense, but they never faced a defense that, they face our defense.
I got the talent we got. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a greater defense, and then you seen what the rookie cornerback can do, and Denver don't have much receivers. I think we can do safety blitz. I think EB, even though he's an offensive coordinator, he's probably whispering Jack Del Rio ear about running a safety blitz and stuff against Denver. And I think with him controlling the offense and stuff, Denver ain't seen nothing yet. We haven't opened the cookie jar for more cookies.
That's right.
Excellent point. Excellent point. I love that point. That was a great point. Let's go, Lou. Lou, I know, once again, I know you're a Jets fan, but there's something there about this defense. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're right because the defense, your defense is a strong type, so you have to work on that. And it's too early to determine how the season, especially because you can't just judge one game the season by just one game.
Well,
no matter how good or bad what.
Well, I'm gonna tend to that comment, but are you finished your thought?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna get through the whole pen and then I'll come back to what you just said. All right, 571. What do you think?
I agree with that. Like, I do.
Okay. All right. I see that you're a little reserved, but no worries. That we're friends here. All right. Roanoke, this is the coach. All right, coach. I know you want to answer this one, but keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. What do you think?
I would say, yeah, keep him in the pocket. You're going to have to keep your eyes open for the receivers completely. They're going to have to keep their eyes open, period.
Excellent, excellent. So Lou made the point about you can't base everything off of one game. You're right, but when you see the inconsistencies first, you want to nip them in the bud before you go to your week 2, because if you don't make those corrections and they carry on to week 2, then it becomes a habit, and when it becomes a habit, then you see this courageous downfall, and then you're like your season's lost, right? So that's why you pick them up and make them sure that you correct them. That's what Eric Bieniemy said in his press conference this week. He said that he saw how the inconsistencies became a great big deal, and how they corrected itself during the game. Now, just imagine if it would have went south. Arizona would have been 1, and we would have been 0-1. So you never want to start the season 0-1, especially when you're dealing with division opponents and the teams that are on your schedule, because that becomes a really bad thing for the next opponent to see that your downfalls are there for the taking. It's like a candy store. You want to take all the candy So you're not just going to go in there and go, oh, well, it's a learning moment. No, you're just going to be like, oh, wow, we lost this game because of X, Y, and Z. And that's what I'm saying to you. And they, the coach, Airbnb, said the same thing. He said he knows what he did wrong and he knows what he did right. So if you're saying that and you know exactly what he did wrong, you did wrong, right? So he's gonna
work on that.
Exactly. That's what I wanted him to hear, and he said that. He said exactly that. So now I feel better that not only did he correct himself, he's correcting it in this game, because in this game, it's going to be a really, really, really dogfight, because now these two individuals who know each other are going to go head to head. They're going to be competitive, but for them to be competitive, they have to understand the X's and O's. And Denver got to really figure out what they want to do, because they lost against the Raiders, and the Raiders, they're pretty good. What I'm really sorry about is the Giants, who just got whooped by Dallas 40-0, and that was horrible on TV. I mean, I don't.
Sneaky stuff in that game.
There was no offensive. I'm talking about, you got Saquon Barkley in the background running the ball, and he only mustered 15 yards. 15 yards, and you're going to sit there and put up no points, not even a field goal, to save your life. Now you're in a hole of 0-1 at the basement. We're number 3, Dallas number 2, Eagles number 1. So I'm going to ask the panel, do we have a shot to take the NFC East? Let's go with Coach, Steve, and let's hear 606 point. All right.
I think so.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I really think so. I think that this is the happiest I have seen this team in years. I've got to say, and that's got a lot to do with it, instead of all the stress that they put up with all that time. I mean, they're happy. And you know what? They're going to work and play football, and they're going to have fun while they're doing it. They can get it together. They can click. And they will know. No one's enemy. They're going to know their play.
Right.
And they're going to attack them. We're going to be out there, and we're going to be battling. That's it.
I like that.
They got to be out there doing it.
I like that. Yep. They're going to be battling. So when they battle, they win. Oh, you just put in the segue. All right. So let's go with Steve. Steve, do you think we could take the East?
I think so, because look at Philly. Philly lucked up on two teams. Two teams. New England should have won that game Sunday.
I agree.
Minnesota gave them 4 gifts.
Yeah.
Thursday night, and Minnesota could have came back and won them. One, if it wasn't the miss, the fumble, the touchdown he had automatically.
Yeah.
Fumbled the ball, and they lost.
Yeah.
So Philly was given a gift. Wait till Philly start playing the better teams,
especially at home.
Our defense.
Yeah.
Like I knew improved offense with our new offensive line and our new improved defense. It's going to be see Dallas just destroyed the Giants. Just was hopeless because Zach didn't have a great game. Running back didn't have a great game. It was the defense they gave. Like I said, 7 sacks.
Yeah.
And like I said, 7 sacks and a bunch of interceptions and stuff.
Let's also say that
they're not going to have as great a chance against the Commanders.
Let's also say that the Eagles had a really good gift of being home, because if it was in Minnesota, they would have lost by 1 point. Let's go ahead and get Lou. Lou, I know you just popped in. go ahead and
Right.
tell me, what do you think about, okay, so right now we got 3 steps. We haven't finished the third step, but I was just telling, Steve and Marilyn and 606 just left out. But if we had to put the interceptions in there, right? Do you think the Commanders can take the East, even though the Eagles are number 1, Dallas number 2, and Giants are in the basement? Now, I heard a little criticism and sarcasm in your. I need to ask you, do you think we can take
What's
the
that?
East? Yeah, that's why he said. When I brought up take the East.
You're messing with the interceptions, and that might cost you. So, you gotta be careful on that. I'm not confident with the Giants either, especially if they play on Monday night. Ugh, boy. I mean, so you might be able to get past them, but if you don't work on the interceptions, you could be in for loss. It could be very costly for you if you're going to try and win the division against, the Eagles and the Cowboys, which look to be, strong at this point. But remember, as I said, it's only one game and things can change. I mean, one game you're just trying to get used to each other, get used to the play calling, your teammates and whatnot. I mean, anything could go wrong in the first week. If it continues, through week 4, week 5, et cetera, then Houston's not going to be the only having the problem.
Yeah. I think the bottom of the 4 is, I have always said in the preseason, and the panel knows this because we were up here asking the same thing, because we said that the Jets was taking on the Giants, and the Giants looked like they lost everything, in which they did. They don't have a wide receiver, they don't have a tight end, they only have as a running back and a quarterback. They lost everything. They could have gotten DeAndre Hopkins, they could have got Swift, but they looked at and went and got Warner from the Raiders, who does nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. That's what I'm saying. And then they look at this goose egg they put on TV live. I know Dallas beat them every year, but they put up nothing. Normally they put up 17 points, 20 points, but they put up a goose egg because Parsons was running everywhere. I'm just saying, if this is what the Giants are, keep being this for the rest of the year, because we need a sweep of the Giants, and they can just lose out for the rest of the year. But I saw this, and I said, well, the Giants are eliminated. They're eliminated completely.
Pretty much.
So now it's just three teams in the East. Now they can just push for the last place. It really doesn't matter to me. But if we're in the mix, I'm talking about we can actually be a wild card and beat half of the teams that's already in the South, in the North.
Possibility.
So there's a real good shot that we might just sneak in. So let me get to the third one. Let me get to the third one, and then let's talk real talk here. All right, so last but not least, the third way to beat Denver. Prevent explosive plays for more of a talented receiving core. Broncos just have... Yeah, so the Broncos just had 11 plays resulting in gains of 10 yards. So difficult, and expects the most explosiveness from this offense in week 2. However, they will have a bolster group, pass catchers, and Jerry Jeudy back in the lineup, meaning that Commanders could see more of his shot down the fields from Wilson on Sunday. The Broncos plowed through the most of their game against the Raiders, but they only averaged 4.5 per yards per play, which is the 21st in the league, and relied mostly on the running backs, and tight ends of most of the plays in the passing game, which relied more heavily on play action and more down the field in small chunks. But there were moments where they tried to take down the field shots, and that would cause in the third quarter. And when Wilson almost connected to Philip Dossett, which feet was out of bounds, and it was a big gain for the Broncos. No matter how much plays he caught on Sunday, Judy was not a small mistake. It would be a big on Washington to move through explosive plays from Denver playbook. It managed to do against the Cardinals, who only averaged 3.6 yards per play. So what I'm going to ask you guys, what I just read was very, 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 very suspicious, because during the game against the Raiders, the Broncos moved slowly. Now, just like us, they were trying to get in the groove of things too, but it seemed like Russell Wilson pushed the tempo onto the players and they had to match it. So this means that the week's playbook for them is to get in the tempo early so they can establish a running game late. That is why we need to establish a running game early and pick the ball off when they give it to Judy, because I think Judy is going to be the starter. He's going to be the one that does the in around plays. He's going to be doing the slants. He's going to be doing the up and go routes. He's going to be doing the corner routes. He's going to be doing the comeback routes. And when they focus on, the defense focus on Judy, then they go to the tight end and the running back. So that's the game plan. I can already see it. For us, I know we're going to have to run the ball on the edges, because if you look at the defense, they're going to be doing what the Cardinals did. So let me ask the panel. Now, this is very, very, very detrimental, because the coach of the Broncos is none other than Sean Payton. Sean Payton, former Saints, former Dallas Cowboy coordinator, former, this guy has done it all and won the Super Bowl. So all I'm saying is, if there's going to be a shot, it has to be us running the football. And who do you want to handle the rock? Do you want Brian Roberts, AG, or Chris Rodriguez? Do we have a shot running the ball? Those are my 2-point questions. Yeah. Let's go with Lou. Let's start with Lou, and then we start with Coach, and then end it with Steve.
All right. Well, tell me the 3 names again.
So the 2 questions I'm asking is, who would you run the football to start the game? Do you want Brian Robinson Jr., Antonio Gibson, or Chris Rodriguez? Now, Chris Rodriguez, the rookie.
For some reason, they're giving Gibson for some odd reason.
Give it to Gibson?
Yeah.
Okay. I will give it to Gibson too. What do you think, Coach?
I would give it to Gibson. I would.
Yeah, me too, because I think he would definitely be a more electrifying in the whole. Not to say anything about Robinson, but I will give it to AG.
Oh, no, Robinson's good.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I like Robinson. Also like Chris Rodriguez, because he's a north and south runner. What do you think, Steve?
Yes, he is.
I would give it to Rodriguez. Somebody new, somebody Denver don't know about. And remember, in college, he had never lost a yard. He always go forward. You know,
I like that.
Yeah, me too. Me
he
too.
always go forward. He never, like I said, I watched his film at Kentucky. He never lost it. He always gained 3 to 4 extra yards when he land.
See, the thing,
I would go give it to the mystery guy.
I love that answer, because I looked at his. I loved what he did in Kentucky, and I think it was a night game, and he was about to break the Kentucky record. What happened was the guard, he pulled the defender to the side and he burst through it and ran for a touchdown. I love that. If we had that in our offense, I guarantee you he would do exceptionally well. It's between AG. You know what? I can't even decide, because if you look at both of these running backs, Robinson, Gibson, and Chris Rodriguez, they all have a brilliant running style. You know, Chris Rodriguez runs north and south. AG, he's a scat back, but he's also a wide receiver. Same thing with Robinson. He's a power runner, but he's also a receiver. So it makes a dimension out of this offense. We really haven't really explored it yet. But once we start using the players like we're supposed to, we become more dangerous. Something I wanted with Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed was a force on the field. People had to knock him in the face, hit him in the head to make him have a concussion. This man just got back up and said, I'm scoring that touchdown. And scored a touchdown and won several games, beating defense. It was just so brilliant. And he managed to do that on the regular. And I think, and not just him. Remember Fred Davis? Fred Davis used to do the same thing. Fred Davis used to kill defense daily with his speed, with his route running, with his touchdowns. Just imagine if they were still mobile.
He knew how to zigzag.
Oh man, they kill the offense. They just kill defenses every day and rack up yardage. That's what we need right now. That we need those type of route runners. Not just him. Let's go with Chris Cooley. Chris Cooley used to do the same thing, right? Now, guess who? And when I look at Cole Turner, I see that too. I do too. I if we get John Bates ready, if we get Cole Turner ready, and if we get these other guys, tight ends that are 7 foot, 6 foot, and just burn up the grass and green, just get yardage. Look how much would that open up the offense. Just widen up, just kill it, And that's why I feel like if we start early, we get to see that. But we always start late and lose everything at the end with 3 points. We could have been up 4, like 24 to 17, and won it 27-17 instead of we won it by 4 points. You see, I think y'all see what I'm talking about because y'all say the same thing when I'm singing. We could have done more with less, but they were doing less.
More.
Exactly. See, Lou understands what I'm saying. Lou's understand that's what I'm saying. We doing way too much when it's already in front of us. And what's funny is that when Eric Bieniemy says it, they knows what I'm talking about. I said it before he said it, and then everybody said, "Oh yeah, he's right." Come on, you're killing me.
Yeah.
512-543-4662. You can call in and state what you want. Go ahead and it's represent the team that you want to talk about, because we're going to talk about one more team at the end of this. But let's go ahead and go to the Wizards, because we're going to revisit back this. The Wizards have their preseason schedule 2023. They go against this team called the, let's see, October 10th at 7 p.m. They go against this team. I forgot what they called. It really doesn't matter. All right. So the next question is, I want to talk about this team because there's a little thing everybody knows that I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. This team has really lost everything, but the U.S. Olympics qualification came up, and the USA men lost. They lost to Canada. They lost to Lithuania, which actually knocked them out of the championship here. But they still have a chance to rebolster their roster to go into the 2024 Olympics, which is next year. And what I read was that LeBron said he's coming back, and Gilbert Arenas was reporting on it, and he said, "Oh no, the King's back, and everybody's gonna fall in line." And I'm like, "Yo, this really isn't, a big news, because if he comes and plays, everybody's gonna be like, oh, he's back. Wow, yeah." There's really no hype like it was when Jordan came back, and Steve Kerr, Stephen Curry came back. When Stephen Curry came in, everybody was, "Oh wow, he's gonna shoot," and he was lights out, right? And then you had Kevin Garnett. When Kevin Garnett came, and then you had Ray Allen came in there and shoot lights out. It was, the team was just electrifying. Now that LeBron is coming, and then Devin Booker said he's going to come in. I don't see the hype no more. I don't see the excitement. I don't see, because when you play for the United States, you see the enthusiasm. There's no enthusiasm no more. It's like it's gone. The more enthusiasm is the countries that come and beat the United States. Does that make sense?
Well, let's look at it this way. Is it we're losing ground, or is it just the other countries are catching up to us and know that we're going up against? I mean, the quality maybe have done better for the other teams, like Canada, Spain, who actually didn't make the knockout round.
Right.
The quality of other countries, have gotten better. But the thing is, we have taken a step backward. I mean, we're still great in the Olympics. We won the last 4, but when it comes to World Cup, we don't seem to be so dominant.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Good point.
I don't know why, and it's still international competition. How could be so great in one sense, but do pathetic in another?
No, you made a good point, Lou, and that's what I was talking about. There's no excitement because of what you stated for. These games were 100% set on the dominance in the game. Now, I saw this team with Steve Kerr as their head coach dominating each and every game except for the last 2. Right? They had a problem with Montenegro, but they came back and overcame that. Now they had Lithuania. Lithuania and Canada torched the crap out of them. It was not until Canada they came back and tied it at 111. Now, when they came back and tied it at 111, they scored with a 3 to take it away, right, and beat them. So when you beat America, USA, it's a huge thing in the international league. Yeah, because we are the dominant team in that division. And then when you look at it right now, it seems like we just lost every bit of credibility in this game because they know we're easy to beat now, and this is how you beat them. So when you come back next year, or when you come back next year, they know how to beat you. All they do is look at what you did in the previous game and just mock that, glue it back together and shit it out there. So now that LeBron is coming back,
they can fix that.
They can, but you got to bring in Kevin Durant. You got to bring in the big guys. You got to bring in people that knows how to dominate internationally. This is why I believe that you don't bring in LeBron. You bring in all the other heavy hitters. You could leave LeBron at home watching watch from the bench and let him be the closer.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be the closer. He's going to be this guy that's going to go ahead and dominate. Right? I just don't see the greatness. I don't see Magic Johnson. I don't see Michael Jordan. I don't see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't see none of them dominating the game. I see him trying to dictate the game, but never dominate. But my question is, now that you see, do you think the USA can go gold? This is my question. I know we only got about 8 minutes, but it's okay. So I'm going to ask Steve, and then we're going to go down the line. Do you think USA can take the gold this coming Olympics in Paris? Steve, make some sense, bro.
Yes, with this new team, yes, with LeBron and Davis and Stephen Curry, and part of the Phoenix Suns, they're gonna definitely take gold because they was at the bottom of the lake. They made no sense at all for this team to not win anything. So yes, this new improved team, 100%, yeah.
What you think, Coach? Make some sense.
Do I not make sense?
You make sense. Oh no, don't do that. You make sense. I'm not trying to get in an argument with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to. Now, if you got Stephon Curry, and if you find, when he finds his spot, ain't no missing, man. You get these guys together.
Mm-hmm. I think, I think. You still there? Hello? Still there?
We're going to get that, y'all. We're going to.
Described.
Well, heard somebody go out.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, yeah, Team USA can go win the gold here. I mean, they've always seemed to be dominating in the Olympic competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why they just can't dominate in these other tournaments.
I'm here.
The Olympics, they just blow everybody else out.
You're right.
I see no reason why we can't get a fifth straight gold.
Well,
yeah.
Here,
well,
I do think, and they're trying to get, some of the veteran players to come back. So if they have that, I don't think there's going to be any doubt they can win a gold medal a year from now.
Well, the thing about that is, if you look at the lineup, I mean the lineup they have is this guy named Wilson, or I forgot it's Williamson, and he actually plays good. They have Reeves, they have Reeves from the Lakers. He shoots lights out, but he's not dominant like the people in the paint. They got this guy named Ingram who was from the Pelicans, who's actually dominant as well, but he's not really, he shoots from the side, right?
He's not, yeah.
So he's not really dominant in the paint. We need somebody who's a rim shaker. If you're a rim shaker, then you take everybody out at the paint and you dominate the paint, like Shaq used to do. Shaq used to dominate the paint, or like Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard used to dominate in the paint because nobody could stop him because he was a mass guy.
Yeah.
And you had like Akeem Olajuwon went in the USA Olympics and dominated in the paint. I could bring so many people who were dominating the paint, like what's his name? Mourning, Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo Mourning dominated the paint, and even the international community was scared of him, and they didn't even play basketball. They're like, America got 7-foot giants with muscles who could backslap anybody. They backslapped the coach. He flew across the street. I mean, I didn't see that, but that's what they were saying. But that's what I'm telling you. That was a massive thing that was being done. I could talk hours about this because it really irks me, because we're supposed to be dominant in the Olympics, but now we're just hoping we can get, into the
You're
group.
need those main players in there.
Yes, it's like soccer. Soccer is the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
Because soccer,
you need the main players in there,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to want to battle, and they're going to want to get, take over. That's it.
That's the whole point.
For USA, man, put it up there.
But we see that's the whole point. I don't see the enthusiasm. I don't see the energy.
Yeah.
I don't see the dominance, because I just see that people are just making the charts. They're trying to make minutes. You know how you get off the bench and you just want the minutes? That's what I see in the Olympics. I just see people just want to make minutes. When you want to put in the hours and you want to put in the time, that's when you see greatness. I don't see that.
Practice too.
Right. And when I see LeBron coming in, I just see minutes. I see him just trying to make minutes
Yeah.
and then get the spot. I'm like, yes, I do this in the U.S. all the time. Yes. All right. Go ahead and make money.
They're
Yeah.
supposed to be working for
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's.
For our country, and that's it.
So we got 2 minutes. Let me go ahead and go to baseball because I got to get this off my chest. All right. So my team, the Orioles. Good Lord. I the first 2 games. The first game we were in it, we lost by 4-3. The second game yesterday, geez Louise, we only scored 1 goal, 1 run, and they gave them 7. So I'm gonna ask the panel real quick. World Series, do we clinch in a AL East division, or are we looking at a wild card? Let's go with Lou, Coach, and Steve. Lou, please tell me something good, man.
Well, the way it looks right now, it's a close race between, of course, the Rays and the Orioles, but I think the Orioles might be able to pull off and win this division. If they do, I think they're going to go straight to the World Series here.
You say
NL is not come,
you say
NL
Baltimore?
is not come down to the Rays and the Dodgers.
Are you say the Baltimore is going to win the division?
Yes.
All right, excellent. All right, Coach, what you got for me?
Nice.
Oh, I was arguing with not arguing with my brother, but I said he was talking about, the Atlanta Braves, and I'm like, have you looked up Orioles? Huh? Have you? Make my day. Come on. I mean, I don't give up.
Hey, I see that. So you.
I don't give up. I'm a fighter. That's it.
That's what we do. That's what we do. We fighters. That's right.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
That's right.
You got Baltimore?
They better be in the playoffs.
They're going to be in the playoffs.
You know
I just
what?
want them to win the division. I think Baltimore needs to win the
division.
division.
Period. Yes. I want them to win the division.
I agree with
they
you.
better get out there and do it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. All right,
Knock it
Steve.
out of the ballpark.
Steve and Steve will be the deciding factor, and then we got to go. What you got, Steve?
They're going to win the division. Like I said, some teams have problems with other teams, but they're going to win the division and win the World Series.
I love it. World Series bound. Here we go. I want to thank Lou. I want to thank 571-606-6234. I want to thank Coach. I also want to thank Steve Davidson for coming in, and thanks for you guys who came in and actually paid attention and commented. You will not go unnoticed. Thank you for coming in as well. Have a great weekend. You're human first, everything second. And yes, you're conquered by definition, so go get those dreams. I want you all have a great weekend, and God bless. Have a great weekend.
God bless.
And stay safe.
God bless you all.
God bless you too.
God
and I'm
bless
out.
y'all.
All right, have a great
Take
weekend.
care.
All right.
Have a great weekend. Let's go, Commanders.
Go Commanders, go Orioles, and let's go.
Let's go, Lou.
Yes. Let's go, everybody. All right. Bye-bye.
Everybody.
And thanks to you, you have a great weekend. And yes, you are conquerors too by definition. Stay safe. God bless. I'm out. Peace.